What is an Idolon? In corporations have rituals that take place when they're actually consecrating an entity. That's why when you go and you file for a corporation, you are actually creating an entity. This is the legal word. And if, as we talked about, and I'm just reiterating things here so that we're all clear on certain energetics, especially since we're on Saturday, there is a company that is known as Pentagram. Like I was like once realizing just exactly what the Pentagram was all about, I wondered who had that domain. That's like sleuth work on the metaphysical and the spiritual or in the physical field to actually check back and see who are the occultists, who are the ones that are using this power and know the most about this power right now. And so to confirm things, visiting pentagram.com takes you to the world's largest branding agency. They brand Target. They brand all the major corporations. It's their work. And it's a group of older, clearly Orthodox Jewish men that are designing corporations or the world's most powerful corporations from a metaphysical level. Even their story was that the reason why they named the company Pentagram, and they always have, you know, this coded message, is that one of the owners was sitting down reading an occult book and blah, 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 blah. He read this and then he decided, I'm going to call the company, giving you a reference that they are really occultists. And what they're doing is they're using the corp. Now, if you notice that the corp means a body, a corpus is a body. And then obviously when you have a building, the building is the framework. So that is the skeleton. And then when people are filling up this building, working all the way to the top floor, that building starts to it becomes alive. It becomes alive because others are putting their intentions into it. And then it's also giving them power back because it's giving them the transconfiguration, which is in this case money. Most importantly, necromancy, as we talked about, because the money has the dead presidents and all this stuff is being pushed for. There's a reason why I'm explaining all this, by the way, and it's very relevant to today. So what happens is that as they're utilizing this power that is a bit beyond creating golem, they're utilizing this power to consecrate this corporation. And as it grows larger and as people believe in it more, it becomes an entity, and the entity begins to function just as a symbol. And as long as the rites and the rituals are done and conducted properly by the mages who constructed it originally, then it is under control, meaning the Idolon is under control, the company is under control, okay? However, when the rituals are not being performed properly, then the Idolon, when taking on another stage, this is like what you see within a neural network or artificial intelligence, that it actually becomes an offset of some kind of intelligence. It starts to move on its own. And this is because as people start to believe in something, they begin to kind of define what that something is. Like people define what FUBU means to them. They define what a group means to them as far as corporations are concerned. But generally, when the founder who's conducting generally the ritual of the projection is still in play, the company is actually at the measure of the founder. However, when it gets out of that control, which is when shareholders come on and all this stuff starts happening, these are metaphysical activities. Certain people come in and they start owning a certain part of it, and then it changes into something else. And then it gets out of control. And we've seen corporations that actually say that they don't have any more control over the corporation. Nike was one of those corporations. They said with all the plastic and the shoes that are thrown away and all this kind of stuff, we can't control this anyway. This was the owner, because I'm not even the major shareholder anymore. I'm like a 30% shareholder, but 60% of the company belongs to thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And if you tell them that this is what we want to do, they could care less. So it's like a rogue Idolon. Okay. So this is, again, I'm giving you the track record again of the beings that are here claiming rulership in these governments, in these different sanctums, and just how out of control it is for them, because they are still succumbing to in most cases, their own passions. And this is why in the Tibetan knowledge, and anytime you see books about Tibetan deities, right? Or in this case, they would be the ancient Indian Lemurian deities. When they're depicting the deities that are still working on obtaining the balance, they always they have fangs, they have a large mouth. And when you generally see them in a full picture, they open the belly. And then you see things pouring out of the belly. And what this is symbolic to saying is that this thing starts to eat. And it doesn't seem to ever get full. It becomes unsatiated. And they all say that this is the way with anything that is a pleasure. that you will never get enough of it. And you will keep eating and eating and eating and eating, and it'll lower your vibration further and further and further. And it won't be something that you're able to stop. And then someone or something needs to come and intervene.